Hello there, Seraph17 once again. This is my Call of Duty Advanced Warfare Veteran Difficulty video walkthrough. This is Mission 3 and it's called Traffic. So two things you might have noticed in this walkthrough so far. The first one is, on the very first video I showed you me choosing my settings for my controls. I get a lot of comments and a lot of questions about how I play, what I play, and settings and preferences and a lot of things like that. So I kept that first one in to alleviate maybe a few of those questions. Secondly, I've left in the upgrades that I'm purchasing, when I'm purchasing them, and which ones I'm purchasing first. I've left this one in to show people who want to follow the guide exactly tit for tat of how I'm playing, how I'm progressing, and once again, it should alleviate a lot of questions that often arise in a project such as this. Everything else is just straight up gameplay and lean as I can make it. As you'll notice, you do not start Traffic where we are right now. There's a ton of exposition at the beginning. All of it's completely gone because none of it is a challenge. This is where you start to shoot things. This is where you could potentially do something wrong. Those other places, not so much. And we're going to get another transition coming up when we go to speak to the Nigerian Prime Minister, and we're going to then transition to all the way past this area. But it's about time I probably did the real talk for the Call of Duties. This is funny too. You see what's happening here? You cannot kill this man until he shoots the rocket. It doesn't work. He is invincible right now because he is apparently a scripting event that needs to happen for the game to continue. So you just witnessed him take 25 odd bullets and still stand up and fire a rocket launcher. But this is a pretty tricky fight, because once you kill the people in front, they're going to spawn on the left. Once you kill them on the left, they're going to spawn on the right. And if you're like me and you're incredibly aggressive on these games, you're going to push either left or right and you're going to get spawned on. And that happened to me on my first playthrough. So on this playthrough, I'm going to stay back here and I'm going to just use this piece of cover and use my abilities to the best of them to kill people, which that's literally what we're doing. And there's a video game called Hatred that's come out, something along those lines, which is getting a lot of heat because it's essentially a game about killing people willingly, vengefully, and it's a pretty nasty premise, which I don't necessarily agree with or disagree with. I just kind of nothing it. It's like a less hilarious Postal, which Postal wasn't a great game, but it let you do stupid stuff, and you did it all under the guise of bigotry and hatred. And in that game, in Hatred, you're going to be killing people with none of the illusion of saving the world or being the good guy or the bad guy or the difference of ideologies. It is literally just kill folks and do it maliciously, and unfortunately we live in a world where that happens in real life because some people are fucking crazy, and when you emulate that in a video game and you encourage people to play your game that way, you're also going to be encouraging a lot of people to say, hang on a second, should we really be encouraging this? And once again, video games becomes the perfect stigma for the media to use as this weapon against, you know, bad behaviour and bad parenting. But this is Call of Duty, and we are in fact shooting people, and it hasn't changed much since, what, 2007, when the best Call of Duty launched. Does this game offer much else than the shooting? It has a campaign for you where there is a storyline to it, which is by no means going to be, you know, remembered in the annals of powerful, poignant and most important literature. It's not really going to push any boundaries. It's got Kevin Spacey in it doing a very interesting performance capture. Ooh, this right now, if you're quick and you boost into here, you can push this corner much quicker than you would normally. The street out there is very dangerous because there's balconies and all kinds of things. In these shops you stand a much better chance, and this is another one of the areas where boldness will definitely benefit you because you can push it and you can kill people much quicker than you would if you pull back. Stay back, you'll notice a lot more spawns happening, and this will be a much longer, more prolonged encounter. But Kevin Spacey's great in this game. Oh, grenade. See you later. Be careful of those grenades too, they kind of shock you and send you all funny. They give you like a tickly elbow. But the Spacey is good in this game. He's unfortunately going to be generic. He's the PMC megalomaniac dude who thinks he's doing the world a favour by, you know, taking over, which, if you don't see the inevitable betrayal coming on, you've probably never seen anything along the lines of, you know, TV programs that have these kind of militant coups and modern military stuff or played any games where this has happened, because if you think about it, pretty much every Call of Duty game, the good guy becomes the bad guy at some point, and then you have to kill them. It's pretty much this universal framework for the series, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but it happens a lot. You get betrayed a lot in these games. So campaign-wise, you're going to go through a whole host of different places to shoot in. You're going to have fun shooting. You're going to use some different weapons, some interesting weapons. You're going to do some driving sections. You're going to do some stealth sections. None of that has really changed. Then you have the multiplayer. The multiplayer is going to be most impacted by the movement. Boosting on this game is interesting. You get to do it twice. Be careful of this truck. It will kill you. Well, I should really say that about everything, but then it's redundant because it's what Call of Duty is, isn't it? You know, hide behind the chest-high thing, stop the bullets from taking out your own chin. Ooh, this is another fun area too. If you rush this quickly, you can do this section very swiftly. If you don't, you can be here a while. If you have the ability to slow time down with your exosuit ability, it could really help you here. Instead, I'm going to go balls to the wall boosting, and I'm going to lay down as soon as I get in that other room, because I have experience of when you don't lay down what can happen, and it generally involves being ventilated by several rounds. So lay down here, get your bearings, sit for a moment to see if anybody tries to kill you. Joker comes, and he gives you a little bit of a distraction. This is hilarious, watch this. I'm almost certain the guy I just shot in the face is back. Look at that shit. That dude took 2 bullets to his head. Or it was 2 identical dudes, which I've just murdered a family line right there. Look at that. How many bullets can a guy take? He's wearing a balaclava, for Christ's sake. It's not a ballistic mask. Jesus. This just don't even make any sense. And we do the interesting mag climbing here, which... This game introduces mag climbing. It also introduces a grappling hook mechanic, and both of them could have benefited a better game. And it has to be said. The linearity in Call of Duty now is effectively killing its interest for me. I like linear games, I do. I prefer them to non-linear games, but there are a few levels on this game where they give you a little bit of freedom. And that little bit of freedom shows you just what these mechanics could be used to do. And unfortunately, the development team are using the same formula that these games have always had and what these games have marinated into. They've become this crazy wine of hand-holdy action, constant Michael Bay bullshit, and they don't need to be that. A great example is waypoints. Waypoints are something that was created to serve a function, to stop us from getting lost, and a lot of people like them, some people don't like them. You're either here or there with that. I think objectively they're a good thing, but at the same time I think they can be a bad thing. In a game such as this, you always know where you're intended to go, so there is no mystery on discovering it yourself. There is no real logic being put into doing it in a different way or several different paths. It's always a very simple linear progression. This game takes it to the next level of that, where they've pointed out where you're meant to go, and if you don't go that way, the companions will shout at you constantly, telling you to move your ass, and it's kind of like, dudes, I've bought your fucking game. I want to look around and appraise your game and see what it has to offer and see the things you put in it, and you're actively telling me to run to the next chest-high wall to shoot the same dudes I've been shooting the entire game. And it's a dissonance that I don't agree with, and these games really heighten it. And I think the worst thing that this game could have done was give us the freedom it does in some of those levels, because it makes the other ones look boring. And the level I'm using as an example here is later on, you have to take down 3 gun nests and 3 walking tank men. And it's quite a large battlefield, and you can do whatever you want in any order. And you have a grappling hook, for Christ's sake, so it turns into Arkham Asylum. And it's super fun because you're climbing buildings, you're boosting, you're dodging, you're going all over the place. You feel like a super soldier. It's really empowering, it's really interesting. This is quite dangerous, this area. You need to watch the car for quick time buttons, because they're not the most obvious, because they're often white, and they generally put them on white surfaces, which is clinically retarded, but whatever. So these mag gloves, just imagine if you could approach certain situations 3 different ways. It doesn't have to be massive, it just can be you go head on into them, or you flank left, or you flank right. And then from those positions there could have been things that you could climb, and those things that you could climb didn't have to have, yo dog, there is a climby thing here, come climb this. It didn't need that. The player could have gone up to it, seen the universal climb me surface, and done it themselves, and felt like they were doing something different. But as I've mentioned, there's such a preoccupation. This is bullshit, by the way, this. If you don't kill this chopper quickly, it can just murder you, and there's not much you can do because there's no cover, and it can hurt you during this animation. So, this is all luck at this point. If you have grenades or if you have slow motion, you'll kill it very easily. If you don't, that thing killed me about 4 times. And on my first playthrough, I didn't even know you could die to it. But there's so many little things they could do, but they're so focused on this. And don't get me wrong, I think this is a fantastic sequence. It's dumb, it's over the top, but it's fun. I'm talking about, you know that big circle I was in with the dude who wouldn't die with the rocket launcher? Those kind of environments. They could have given us options to do different things and just embellished it a little bit more as this technology advances and we can do better things. But they're so paranoid that shit's not exploding, that the player's going to get lost or not know what to do. It's like, not everybody is DSP. You know, you can trust us to do things. But they don't, because they are aiming for the lowest demographic they can, which is literally everybody. They want your mum to be able to pick this up and know what she's doing. And as awesome as that is for accessibility, it's ostracizing people who want to learn. And games, second to enjoyment, have always been about that learning experience, which is... it's just a really strange disconnect. But thank you very much for listening. Thank you for watching. I hope it's helping, even though the game is very simple. But you take care now.